Well, here we are a week later. We're at high tide right now. Oh, it's probably still morning. Dirty kitchen, wife's fixing breakfast. People are showing up out there to party at the gazebos. You can see the high water coming up. That's salt water. When the high tides come up, it comes in, mainly filtering in from the pond, leaking through the walls. Eventually all that over there will build that up with coral and shells so that it won't come up next to the structure like it does now. And then over in that area in there, once I get it all filled in, that's where I'll put a couple of PVC hoop house greenhouses there. Actually, they'll be rain houses so we can grow vegetables in the rainy season here. But in the mornings, you can see the water comes up. Couple hours it'll all be dry because the low tides will start affecting and pulling everything out. Go out here and look out the front. Love my front door view. Step out my gate. Want to buy a boat? There's one for sale. Lobster Hut. We're going to completely restore that one. My neighbors, quiet bunch of good people. We cover each other's back here. When you live out on them huts for recreation, they like to come here. Nice place for the kids to romp and stomp, and for the most part, we don't mind it. It's comfortable here. You can see how high the tide is right now. That's about as high as it gets on a normal condition. Been steadily working on projects here. We'll walk on around. I'll show you what's going on. For those that are following us week by week. Here's where we had all the wood stacked up we were using for the roof. The roof framing's done. They're putting nepa on it now, so that's it. Picked it all up. Set it up on concrete blocks up here where it stays nice and clean. Helps keep critters out of it. You don't want things like rats and insects burrowing in, destroying the wood. Been working on the gardens. Putting in protective bamboo fencing, keep the dogs out of the vegetables. Building the second one there. I hope to have it finished today. Be putting soil in it in the next couple of days and planting it. The guttering on the project is in. I got a couple of small pieces of guttering which I'll put on over there on the dirty kitchen on both sides of it so we can collect rainwater. Plus we'll be bringing in a lot more drums. The hollow block we brought in. Now most hollow blocks here are done at a ratio of about 70 to 90 blocks per one sack of crete. The problem with that is because I'll be using these to build large saltwater fish tanks to hold water. So I can't afford a catastrophic failure because it blocks the way they make it tend to be a little weak. These we're making special. These are set at about 25 to 30 blocks per sack of concrete, cement, which make it considerably stronger and should be able to hold up to the internal stresses of all that water. Some of these tanks will hold 2,000 to 4,000 gallons of water in them at a time. We're kind of prone to earthquakes here, so if it gets a little on the shaky, jiggity side, you don't want your tank splitting wide open. They're stockpiling the sand. We're going to have to be putting all the concrete forms in for the saltwater tanks. I should be starting on that sometime next week. They'll be started in the next video. Nepa frames in. Working on the guttering now. Finished putting bulk seal and nailing them and putting them all in. Frame on this side's done. Nepa's almost half done on the structure. Carpenter's done a hell of a job. Of course, all the real work is done by his wife here. He just looks pretty. But it's coming on nicely. A couple of days, all the Nepa roofing will be on. And then I'll start putting the drain pipes in, attaching them to the gutters. Using 4 gutters here. The structure's about 32.5 feet wide and about 65 long. Have to really start getting in, start doing the final grade. I got to run 2 French drains out each side in case there's a failure on the gutter so the water will carry out. Got to put that in before we put the foundations down. But with a little luck, next week we'll start blocking off and getting ready for the real work, which will be start constructing all the saltwater tanks that will be in here. Pretty soon this thing will actually start looking like a lobster hatchery. Being on a little island, everything has to be brought in by boat, so it kind of slows down the construction. But it's been steady and consistent, so I cannot complain a bit. Doing pretty good. Get over here and get a peek at the garden. Garden's primarily made out of scrap wood. When they cut the the coconut for lumber, they block it. And when they block it, they wind up with these skins, kind of thick oval portions. That's what I'm using to make these out of. These would normally be burnt and discarded, so why throw away such a good resource when they can make perfect garden boxes? Just lay them down, stake them, set them on the side, and they make a good garden box. I'll get a season or 2 out of them. By the time I'm ready to replace them, I will replace it with hollow block exterior walls. But this allows me to go ahead and get a jump on it. Simple construction. But little by little, everything's coming together. Can't complain. Be glad when we're starting to put the tanks together. That's pretty much it for this week. Talk to you later. Bye.